Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of another pod, Do Not Relent. Join the Blue Sky movement. Find us over there at Do Not Relent on Blue Sky? I'm Slidewhistle. Is that what it is? Oh, he's making a face.
Well, you always do this. I'm like, I don't fucking know. I just started working on it again earlier today. It's donotrelent.bsky.social or however you... I don't know how you properly refer to Blue Sky things, if I'm being honest. But it's also in our Linktree, which you can get to by going to justdonotrelent.com, right?
Yes. Come join the fun for the extra month or so that the enthusiasm has swept everyone up.
I think it's here to stay, if I'm being honest. But yes, hello, it's your boy, Immunization.
And it's me, Aaron, Fire Mage Extraordinaire and Horrid Punching Bag. I'm also there. I won't be very funny, though. But that's just me. I've spoken about my social media anxieties before. More importantly, though, I want to talk about how anxious I am about the future of the world of Warcraft.
Well, I'm not anxious. I'm excited at this point.
They're gonna muck it up. They're gonna ruin it. I wanted more pretty humans, and we're gonna get more green guys? Who asked for green guys?
Oh yeah, that's right, Aaron, the noted goblin hater. I'm excited for all this new shit, though. It looks classy. We got to what? They announced Undermine? Is that what the patch is for WoW? Undermined?
Yeah, so it is the 11.1 patch, which is Undermine, but then they put like a D, parentheses D, after it as well. Undermined patch.
Yeah, because the Undermine is like... So, okay, my Goblin lore obviously isn't up to snuff, but the Undermine Journal is named that because of, like, the mythical Goblin City or whatever, the Goblin where the Goblins, all the cartels live in harmony or not harmony.
Yeah, I don't think it's harmony. I think it's their major trade hub. So they go here to do their Goblin trading, and we'll finally be able to go.
The biggest piece of information is that, once again, we are on the right side of history with the announcement of Super Jailer Racing.
So, like, I love that, like, people came to our Discord to just talk about this too, because, like, we've been goofing since Shadowlands, at least, I feel like. How did that whole goof 'em up start? Slidewhistle joked around about it, but both of us believed him.
there were changes to Torghast coming, and for no particular reason, he said, I'm just going to spin a yarn and lie. But he did it in a way where he'll say, like, oh, I talked about cars, I talked about items, but I want to say it was spun in just a way like, oh, like, you'll race through the Torghast levels. And I'm like, well, that's at least a good change. And then, yeah, the wool was thrown over our eyes. He was like, no, stupid. It's called Super Jailer Racing.
And then we're like, oh, you weren't being serious. And then we had this whole bit where we're like, yeah, it'd be like a racing game, like a Mario Kart type thing with customizable cars on like the Torghast levels. And we're like, yeah, it's Super Jailer Racing. And then we've referred to it whenever anything car adjacent has been brought up in the sphere of WoW ever since. And this is like the most like, is this actually happening? Is our boy Ian Hazuko confirmed listening from the vents and like took these ideas back in Shadowlands and they've been working on it ever since?
Could it be? Because if you don't know what the hell we're talking about, what have you been doing? Go watch the video. But
I guess we haven't even mentioned. It's probably the name of the episode, but they had a 30th anniversary for the Warcraft series video. And this is where all this information is coming from.
Yeah, it was effectively, the vibes of it were that they were using this in place of BlizzCon because, like, you know, the time of when BlizzCon would be ish. And they just kind of talked about what's coming next for all of their... This was just WoW, Warcraft.
Yeah, it's just Warcraft things. But, I mean, you look at it, that's really all that's going on. How much are we really going to talk about, I guess, what even is the only other property? Overwatch, we got some StarCraft stuff. The art or the MOBA's dead. The Philly Hunter game, that's dead.
I want to go back to the cars because we're driving cars in the Goblin City, and because they're taking what it's basically going to be the new customizable mount like we have with the balloon mount.
Yeah, and it's called DRIVE Drive. I don't know what it stands for. I don't know that they told us what it stands for yet.
We were trying to figure out, and by we I mean Papa Cheese was trying to figure out, are we going to be flying in this zone, or is this car going to be so fucking fast that like you're not even going to want to fly?
What
You know,
if the
I don't know.
zone is so wide but not tall? Like the zone, it's the Stormwind City of new cities where you won't be flying because it's too small, but you need to take your car because it's really big. It's really, really wide. So it's like you'd be dodging stalactites and stalagmites. Might as well hop in your drive.
If I can get the whip out. But so we can customize the ability to drift and accelerate. So we're getting like Mario Kart style pieces is what it sounds like.
Yeah, and the video of this that they showed when they were announcing it, it was really giving Super Jailer Racing. They were like on the freeway drifting. I'm like, okay. Like,
Do we think the cars will have any offensive capabilities? Will I run into an RPing couple and I can go and roll into them?
That would be sick if in PvP like you could like have like a little ramming thing or, you know, machine guns mounted Twisted Metal style to mow down people. But Aaron, you brought up a good point about the stalactites and stalagmites. So I just makes me realize that we're gonna be in another fucking cave, right? Like we're getting a lot of like underground cavern zones, and I feel like we got to be a little careful about that.
I personally do not enjoy it. I get that's the shtick for this expansion, so it's like, I'll grin and bear it. But I'm just gonna say, I don't like being in big caves, personally. Even like Hollow Fall's dreary. It doesn't feel like a big cave, but I can tell you, Ajkahet and Ringing Deeps, I don't like caves.
That's where all that anxiety's coming from, being trapped in a cave.
I'm like my peepaw. I got that claustrophobia.
Well, I've got claustrophobia. This also though is pretty funny because I feel like not only it was like 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, we were absolutely shitting on vehicles in WoW, saying we never want vehicles in WoW after doing Old War. Get the vehicles out of here. And now we're like, let's go vehicles.
Well, no.
Okay.
Vehicles as a raid mechanic is still bad. I've been talking about it forever. I mentioned it before on the long defunct DNR Livejournal. I have said, in Kazan, they let you drive cars. Where's our cars?
Yeah, no, I mean, and I agree with Aaron. Obviously, our heat was not at, like, this car, this hot new whip that we'll be riding around in the Undermine zone. It was literally fucking having to use these mounts at the beginning of a raid. Like, it's not even just Ulduar or whatever. It's like any raid that starts with me having to be on some mount, whether it be a dragon or something, for like 20 minutes. I don't want anything to do with it.
Oh, shit. I just had a... What if they did like a T-Swift where it's like, you need to get on your dragons and chase me? What if there's a boss in Operation Flush where it's like, you'll never catch up with me unless you have a fleet of cool fucking cars. And everyone's like, on the highway.
Sick. Oh, I'd love that. And I'd love it even more if they gave me an option to ghost ride the whip. Like I can just stand next to it and dance a little bit as it goes slowly down the road.
If you
like add an emote to WoW that's ghost riding the whip.
You have to. The thing is, it's one of those timing mini games like the pick up the ore world quest, where if you do it the wrong way, like your car starts scooting away and you have to catch up with it, and everyone's like, "Ooh, negative swag."
Ian, please.
But if you hit it right in the middle, it's like, oh shit. It looks like she's really ghost stepping on that thing.
All the NPCs go crazy. Come on, Ian. Do it for Mr. Fab. Please, we need this. Yeah, so you mentioned the new dungeon, Operation Floodgate, which means it's also coming in the Season 2 Mythic Dungeon pool, along with our favorite dungeon, the Motherlode. With the football and the pulling all the mobs, but with one error.
Aaron, like, audibly, like, I felt like part of Aaron's soul leave his body when Motherlode was coming back.
Motherlode is so butt. Because it's a dungeon in that, yes, you go into it. But it's just 3 big empty fields. And yeah, like Slide said, it's like, oh, you took a step too close? You activated our 17 cryomancers. It's like it's the sloggiest dungeon I've ever gone through. Let alone those fucking greenos are there.
At least we're killing them. I mean, I don't know. That's something.
That's true.
But then, yeah, new raid is Liberation of Undermine. And then, I don't know if they've officially announced this, but, like, like, Gallywix we fight there. Like, is he the end boss of this raid?
I think so. I think he is. And he has to be. Now, man, you know, I've already seen a lot of sentiment from Horde players. They're like, well, once again, we're fighting another Horde leader. And I'm like, well, I mean, at least this guy, like, left your team a while ago, right? Like
a while ago, after aligning with the most evil person that we've seen in a while, like Sylvanas, who was being controlled by the Lord of Death. Like, it's pretty obvious that this wasn't your dude anymore. He left all goblin kind to fend for themselves, and since then y'all have, like, chosen a new leader, so, like, what's the big deal here?
Yeah, it's not like Garrosh where, I mean, they were fighting him while he was on the loading screen. Like, it's like, ugh, I just got done with Siege of Orgrimmar. It was so tough. Time to warp back to Orgrimmar. And he's like, hey, what's going on, guys? Or even Sylvanas, where, yeah, it was the previous expansion, and now we fight her. Gallywix has been gone for a long time. I'm wondering, will 11.1 give us a new loading screen? Because you think, how many people are now outdated on that Kalimdor one?
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of them. And do you think we're going to kill him? Or is he going to, like, weasel away and just, like...
I think we won't kill him. I think he'll get really hurt, and then Monty Gaslow will, like, get in a big robot, and it's like, come on, we can make a deal! And then Gaslow will look right at the player. He'll direct your attention to him and say, we don't make deals anymore. We're good, honorable people. This is, I love the concept. This is all still just part of the Goblin rehab. This entire zone is going to be Gaslow going to, like, Noggenfogger, and he's like, I think we can kick a puppy for 5 cents. And it's like, no, we don't care about money anymore. We're nice.
I think that's, honestly though, I think that's good, because the goblins don't do anything but the gym, tan, laundry, and money. That's like
They were very one note. But the thing is, I'd like them to be more than 2 note. I need Gaslow to say some morally dubious things, because right now a lot of what I'm seeing is like, no, we are the true heart of the Horde. And it's like, you aren't.
Didn't he build Orgrimmar? Wasn't he part of the Orgrimmar build team? I think he is the heart of the Horde, technically. Unfortunately, I say that as a bystander from the outside with no knowledge of it.
I think it's Chen Stormstout. He was there too. He's one of the 3 founders, for gosh sakes.
You know, we have been pretty good on the prediction front, and I do think the rehabilitation of goblins and them focusing more on building things again will lead us back to the path of tinkers. Because if they start just being allowed to make shit again, and now we have a reason with 2 sides engineering some shit, I think we could see some tinkers by midnight.
What is this, a prediction we made like 6 years ago now? Or
literally,
like...
episode 12 of the show was like, tinkers, oh my. But we've been holding on to that football, and drive after drive, we've been taking it up the field.
But speaking of, like, predictions, I feel like there were 2 things in particular during this live that all 3 of us just completely whiffed on. I would have legitimately bet money that they were never going to ever do either of these 2 things. And I'm talking Mists of Pandaria Classic. Like, I never thought that was going to happen. I thought Kata was pushing it. I thought they would never do Kata Classic even. And then fucking player housing. Like, all of us never thought any of that was going to happen.
Yeah, I gotta eat a big old pile of crow here. Just call me RFK. because fucking I never thought it was gonna happen. I didn't think they were gonna do it. I'm shocked because there's so many ways they can go about player housing that I like don't even know which path they're gonna pick. And the fact that they didn't even have anything to show us but that little video, because they're like, we don't fucking know either, guys. We're still trying to figure it out. Like, just wait.
Yeah, so we don't really know much about it other than the fact that it supposedly is going to be coming in the Midnight expansion, and we don't really know when that officially is happening. On the roadmap, they say that World of Warcraft Midnight expansion reveal is happening, it looks like late summer. So that just means like that's not when it's coming out, right? That's like when they are going to
they'll drop the
give
trailer.
us more info about it.
Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is they have put themselves on a precarious perch. I will eat doo-doo. This is partially why I have left X the Everything app for Blue Sky, because I made a lot of enemies on X saying this would never happen. But they have introduced player housing. Those people want a very specific thing for player housing, and if you don't deliver, this olive branch, this act of goodwill will be a death stroke for the World of Warcraft. I hope they delay this thing. I hope they say, no, it's coming in Last Guardian. Because if they fuck it up, so many WoW girlies will continue to not log into the game. But this time it will be purposeful.
Yeah, no, you're right. So like I love my Facebook feed once again is always just delivering. I'm in the craziest groups. I get to see the most insane human beings out there. And the World of Warcraft Facebook group has got to be one of the worst. Full of like Eastern European balding guys who like are like, you made Arthas a pussy. We love Arthas.
Hey. They're our second most popular demographic. Sorry, Luxembourgian balding guys.
Oh, no. The guys, our listeners have fabulous heads of hair. And if you don't, I like to imagine you do. But like, it's always really negative. Always really negative on Facebook. Boy, the Blair housing video, there were like so many fucking comments. And now I didn't find a single negative one. And I'm like, you guys, not everyone's going to get what they want out of the system.
Yeah, I feel like they need to be very careful here for a lot of reasons, because like WoW's already had player housing, if you think about it, garrisons, right? So I feel like they need to be very careful how they implement it, or else it will just feel like Garrisons 2.0, and people will hate that. But then I'm also like, how do you do it otherwise? Like, you just have to have it focus on like one house instead of like a collection of buildings. But then the thing is, like, do we get to pick where it is? Do you get to be in a neighborhood with other people? I assume the answer to that is no, and I feel like that alone will piss people off. I feel like it's going to be a thing where, like, maybe you could just choose, like, a zone, like, say, like, Elwyn or, like, Dunmorrow, and then that just is, like, the skin of, like, the surrounding area of it, and maybe the aesthetic of the building, and then you teleport to your house, and it's just one in a bubble type thing. That's what my prediction is.
I'm going to guess we will get... You can pick a zone that is just your yard, the outside. You have to pick a style of house, whether it be like a human cottage or like a gnome vertically tall elevator house. And then you can put some predetermined things in predetermined spaces. So it's like, this corner is the couch corner. You can buy one of 3 different couches. But then also it being garrison-like, sort of like you said, where you warp there. I do not think there will be neighborhoods. I don't think it'll be like, I'm going to walk to my friend Sally's house. She lives on a ridge in Red Ridge. It's like, no, you'll take your warp to her house when she invites you to a group.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I'm not sure. So when they were first planning on doing garrisons, they did say that they were going to have multiple garrison spots that you could choose from. So like you could have your garrison in Spires of Iraq, or you could have it out in oh my god, Gorgrond.
Literally any other zone.
I was like, I gotta name one more. I can't even think of another one. But there is a lot of empty real estate that's not being used. Think about Elwyn Forest, right? There's a fuck ton of just barren land that's like just trees and like some robbers and some cows. Like, I don't think they're going to do neighborhoods, but I could kind of see where they could put stretches of land where they could have, like, a row of houses. You wouldn't see them, obviously. Like, it'd be, like, dungeon portals that you would enter in, but...
Yeah, no, I feel like I've probably actually said this on the podcast before, that, like, if they do it, like, say, RuneScape when they did it a long-ass time ago, then, like, I could see them doing a thing where, yeah, you would have, like, the Elwyn neighborhood, air quotes, and then it would be like there would be a portal. Like, think about like the Darkmoon Fair, like that in Elwyn Forest that you could physically go to, and like there might be like some things around it too, and then like a portal that you go into. Then you could, I don't know, choose to go to whoever has their house open to you, I suppose.
I'm really hoping we can get neighborhoods for virtual real life drama. I want to stand outside of my neighbor's house / yelling for an hour. He's like, "Shut the fuck up! I'm trying to put my couch in here. I'm tired of you yelling outside my house.
I'm trying to bang some hotties on the couch and you're screaming."
Can't you see the two of us standing in my living room? We're e-sexing so hard right now and you're screaming about your house. There's a party in my Iggy.
I wonder how the RPers feel about this. So on one hand, like, you think they have to be excited, obviously, to have their own space. But on the other hand, it's going to become a lot easier to become excluded from events if you are on the outs with somebody, or like if your number one enemy is having a house party and they're inviting 30 of their friends and you know that like everyone's gonna be there but you can't go because they're gonna kick you, like, and then you can't just crash it because you can't show up in a 2 of their instance house.
Sorry, Dagubius. There's a party in my Iggy and you are not allowed. Oh, just another lonely night ERPing alone. Dagubrius grabs penis.
Oh, poor Dagubrius. Yeah, I really don't know. I also was thinking, like, in Stormwind, like, we could update a lot of the world by this point, which is not easy, obviously. We've been living in post-Cato world longer than WoW has had pre-Cato world. But they could update some of the areas in Stormwind to just be like a house. Like, it's like a dungeon portal. And like, you obviously would only see yours when you walk in or who you invited. They could turn like 10 or 11 of those houses across all the districts into a building to live in quotes.
Yeah, so then you could technically choose to live in one of those districts. So, like, that would be really cool. Honestly, Immunization would be living in Stormwind if I had to say right now.
This is a hard question to answer, but how many people are in like Borealis right now at any given moment? Like, obviously not as much as when it was a main thing, but I don't think it would hurt to just put some kind of building in there. Think of all we have walked around Borealis a fuck ton. There's so much real estate. Kick those goddamn Ashvane pirates out, and we could all live in that fucking quarter.
Even in the like good district where it's like not like ruffians or stray dogs, like there are just a ton of buildings that there's just nothing. Like they don't even have doors. Like you can't even go in them. They're just like a facade. So like they could do something there too. I think you're onto something though, Slide. Like they could, like in all of the major cities, have like a house that is just like you walk in and then it's like a staging portal, like I was saying about like the one in Elwyn Forest.
I really like the idea of Growlina inviting an Ashvane pirate into the city and then mowing him down just to keep property values down. You know, Borealis really is the best place to live. There's just a random Ashvane attacks you at the club. I pay silvers on dimes for this thing.
We pay the pirates to shoot into the air to keep prices down.
As long as we get to go to the party in your Iggy, of course.
What is an Iggy? You said that igloo? What are you talking about with the Iggy?
I was like, I'm just gonna incept it into them so hard. It's a song from Club Penguin. when you would have a party in your house in your igloo.
Okay, it is igloo.
Yeah.
So at one point, Slide turned to me like off mic. He was like, "What the fuck is an Iggy? What is he talking about?" And I'm like, well, okay. So my mind went igloo, but I don't understand the reference.
Yeah, it would be a song that would either play at the club or when you'd have parties in your house in Club Penguin. It would be like, "Ooh, this one's gonna be a biggie. There's a party in my Iggy."
I didn't know that there were words in Club Penguin. I didn't know words were spoken, like song in song.
Anyways, let's tip the iceberg. Huh? That's for all my kids out there. And flip on over to Mop Classic. I'm going to be controversial. Who's that for?
I think it's for us.
For us? I know it's for Cubby Bub. I told her and she said, yeah! And I said, what are you going to do in Mop Classic? She said, it's Mop Classic. So I guess that's my answer.
I say this with every single classic expansion, but I think this is the one that's going to be the closest to what our modern experience is with Draenor. Like,
which is why I feel like I would like it more, but then also the timing of it's weird because like we just had Mop Mix, so I'm like, will I care to like dive into it right now. I probably won't. Because realistically, I've never fully committed to any of the classic servers. So
I mean, Mop Remix didn't feel right. I don't know. It was weird. It was like a very go very fast kind of thing. Mop Class is going to be the epitome of slow down. Like, we're going to be going slow. I have everyone talks about how good the class balance was back then. Because remember, like, we went into Mop Remix with like our usual everything that we know, abilities and whatnot. Like, it's going to be slightly different. The rating will be like real rating, because like the Mop Remix rating was not fucking real. It was have two guys who have a cloak of like 1 million and they're gonna kill everything for you, and I'm just gonna stand there and be like, okay. I don't know. I think it's cool, but we'll see, because it always depends on when they release stuff. I feel like when they launch these things, there's always like a big WoW patch that launches with it.
yeah, so according to their WoW Classic timeline, Mop Classic is set for spring of 2025, which looks like, if you compare it to the War Within roadmap, that is maybe like 11.1.5, which like the content there says new content Nightfall, Horrific Visions Revisited, and Children's Week update. So like, I don't know, those don't exactly sound like bangers to me.
Yeah, I was about to say, content is coming out, but I don't think it'll distract anyone.
No, the 0.5 patches normally have a lot more though. Like, this is just like the 3 things they're telling us about. I feel like we always kind of pulled into those ones. During the 0.7 patch, I could definitely see it then, but I don't know. It's hard.
And then it was really funny to me. There were like a bunch of people that we were all like live watching this event together on our Discord, which you can find by going to donotrelent.com. And we like, someone like, Aaron, was it you that made a joke about classic, or was it somebody else that made a joke?
Oh, it was one of our many lovely listeners of the DN Army. But yeah, classic is coming. There's a reset, I guess. And it's funny because in the announcement they were like, we know that a lot of our lovely players missed out in 2019 when Classic went live. And it's like, I mean, I guess, but who really yearns for Classic who wasn't there? And it's like, oh, Beans, just missed it. Like, I feel like most folks were dialed in. So like, who was this for?
Yeah, so they announced that like legitimately next week, November 21st, 2024, Fresh Realms are launching as part of the 20th anniversary of yeah, so classic. Like, it's so funny to me.
I feel like they wouldn't do this if they didn't have the metrics. Like, they definitely know. People who play Classic, they remind me of what's that style of the game where you start over and over again with new abilities?
A roguelike. They are roguelike players.
Roguelite? I always forgot that there's 2, roguelite and roguelike. Like, why did they do that for?
But anyways, like, obviously people are excited for this because I retweeted. Is that what do we call it on Blue Sky? Is there a word for this?
You're reblutied.
I reblutied this roadmap on our Blue Sky account and asked the listeners or people who follow us on there what they're most excited for from the information that we were given during this direct. And so far, I feel like the most common reply has been classic. So they're like a bunch of people saying that. So I'm like, dang, I guess people yearn for the classic.
I guess and people can educate me, but Vanderlyle, he's our eye in the sky for the classic community, said that there are people who really just like restarting everything and going. And my question is, can't you do that in standard classic just by making a new character? Is it specifically like, I've lived as Growlina with 2 eyes all my life. I want her to start again, not Growlina with 1 eye or Growlina with 3 eyes. I demand to have this specific character start over.
I think the problem is you can't do it alone, because if they keep moving the classic servers forward, the bulk of the community is going to be playing what the newest one is. So like when they move to Burning Crusade,
the classic, the vanilla server has still stayed intact, right? It's the only one that's stayed intact.
But like the majority of guilds move on to the next one. So like people just like, I think the bulk of players just like will keep following where the bulk of the community is going, because they just want to play with like a big group of people. So like wherever the concentration of people are, they're gonna go. And I think this is why they're doing Classic to kind of be like, all right, guys, we're starting over. Everybody come back, pick a new character, roll a new tune, roll the same one, do what you got to do. Because people do this on the illegal servers all the time. What are those called? I forgot what they're called, but like,
Well, I know Nostralis was the big one. That was the one they killed and then grabbed the guys to make Classic.
yeah, I think people just, they like it. I'm definitely probably not going to do it this time. I'm not going to lie to myself for Classic, because whenever I try it, oh, no, you know what, though? They are adding Group Finder. Not like the Dungeon Finder at the Green Eyeball, but like you can be like, hey, I have a group for this. Because again, that was my problem in Classic was I remember I couldn't do a quest. I was not strong enough to kill like the pigs or whatever, the big boars. And I was like, can somebody help me kill the boars? And nobody responded to me. So I was just like, I quit.
Sounds like classic schmassic, if you ask me. If it's not 1-to-1, it's not one for fun.
Speaking of one for fun, what's that Grow doing? I gotta make a drink.
Greetings to all of you once again. I'm here on the anniversary fairgrounds, once again to chat with the people. Today I'm afforded a rare opportunity, as I'm talking to Yondu, who just used anniversary magic to turn themselves into a tiny kitty cat. Yon, what's it like being a little guy?
Well, I don't think I was ready for how small I'd be.
You mean actual kitty size?
I guess. I thought they'd make me, like, a feral druid size. I'm tiny down here.
Well, I'm glad they kept you size appropriate. I don't think the white tabby model can handle all that stretching. What made you choose this little kitty instead of a fancier, sophisticated pet?
I think I just wanted to trick people into coming over here, and then I'd scare them by talking to them. You'd expect that out of a creepy box or a cinder corgi, but not little old me.
Ah, sort of like how you initially tricked me.
Mission accomplished.
Well, I'm already kind of a dog person, but perhaps I'll take advantage of the same magic as Yondu here, and take some time to see the world from half a foot above the ground. Till I see you all again, here's part 2 of the show. Thanks, Growl. What a silly, silly story.
Meet me at the Iggy.
You can always tell when I have one that I'm thinking about and when I do not.
Which will this week be? We'll see. Very obviously.
Yeah, we'll see. So I have gotten calls from on high. I've gotten personal voicemails, threats even, to the sanctity of my cat. We need to have a very quick November Traders Post review. And this will actually be easy because the vast majority of it is just returning stuff.
Yeah, I don't even spend any tendies because I already have all what I wanted.
Yeah, the big shtick is, so there is a mage outfit, there's the Sylvanas outfit, there's the Logash outfit, and some other stuff. But the big thing is they have opened up the class sets for everyone that's in your armor type. Have either of you guys purchased any of these?
About the Sylvanas one, that's it, I think.
I don't know that I've actually gone to look at it, if I'm being honest. I don't think that there was anything that really stuck out as me wanting to buy it this month. I know that there was a lot, but a lot of it was, as you said, returning.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm appreciative that they did do it, but yeah, it's definitely a buy month. I got the Logash set because I was like, maybe, sure. Got the Sylvanas set, but those are things. But I will give my only rating, my shoot, to midway through the month because they decided to make the actual ladder you have to climb twice as large. You have to get to 2,000 this month. Halfway through, you do get 4 back pieces of the Warcraft 3 races. Those are humans, night elves, orcs, and the undead. And those are very cool.
Yeah, I have the Lordaeron one was sick. I don't have a character that I would use them on yet. Like I've been putting on the Sylvanas armor and then hiding it in shadow form and just like revealing how I'm a man wearing it and it looks so stupid.
It did surprise me because you're a purple person. So I said, does someone have a Sylvanas toy? And then I turned around and I was like, oh, that's Slidewhistle. That's a purple man wearing her outfit.
Yeah, and like it looks sick when he's just like in void form, but then when he comes out of void form, it's just like the amount of like midriff that's showing is just like really funny, like on a male model for some reason.
It's so goofy. But I'm glad we have the option to do it now. And double the tendies is nice. It means you can save them points for something you want. So again, I bought all the tier sets, so or I'm like, whatever.
You can save them for a better month.
That does remind me, before people fall off for the end of the episode, Dornagooners.
Yeah, so on this show, we have historically given a name for every expansion of people who play there, because I feel like what was the original one that like really got traction? Catakids, that type of moniker. So then we're like, we named ourselves Draenor Darlings, and then since then we've named one for the new expansion, and
We didn't do one for Dragonflight, and I feel like our Shadowlands one was weak.
We didn't meet anybody who started in Dragonflight, right?
That is true. Yeah, I don't really. Well, we had our
Valdorkins.
our friend from Shack News. Hey, friend, if you're still listening, he was technically a Dragonflight starter.
Valdies.
Wallies.
Valdies.
Like Valdrakken, Valdies.
Baldy, but Valdi.
Hey, Valdies nuts. You want to change the name? You gotta send us a letter in the mail.
Yeah.
But Crow Moan, who is the only individual we've met who started in TWW, has named themselves a Dornagooner, and we're just over the Dornamooner about that.
I just think I'm jealous of it. I'm like, if I would want to go by this, like if I could. I mean, I can't because I can't change when I was born, but you know.
Spread the word. Tell your friends. Dornagooners rise.
Dornagooners assemble.
I'm looking at this roadmap again, and we see that in 11.1 we are getting Aaron, your other Ian, has a Kosis request. The Warbands UI update, Warbands camp collections. Do you think you'll be able to fry a little egg?
Shit. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't looked at this thing, I guess for sheer on-air reactionary content, and here you're getting it. Holy, I didn't know that was a thing. Yes, please. I feel like frying an egg is so obvious. Like, you have a fire and there's like 3 things you do with it. You cook marshmallows, you fry an egg, or you cook a sausage.
Yeah, so I don't know what this could mean. Obviously, there's no info, but you know, it's something, and it's legitimately just an update of the UI. So I feel like it has to be something, like for when we're on the login screen.
Looking at it now, I'm immediately swallowing my not hopium, the opposite. I'm getting sad. What it's going to be is, so the camp that you're at is very clearly like Dragonflight coded. It's going to just be, you can be other places. So your 4 assholes will be standing there, just sitting, standing, doing nothing. But now it'll be like, maybe they're in Northrend, or maybe they're in Pandaria. I refuse to believe they will actually ever honor a wish of mine.
Hey, I don't know. It's happened before.
Usually like 2 or 3 years after, but yeah.
We also have 11.0.7. We talked about this last time, but the new content, Wintervale. We also have a date, by the way, on the Siren Isle, 11.0.7. I do believe it's December 17th. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, so I have the dates pulled up here. War Within Siren Isle comes out on December 17th of 2024. Yeah, you were correct there. And then Undermined it just says winter 2025.
Wait, what?
That's wrong. Their own graphic they posted here, it says winter 2025, and that's like wrong.
Well, January winter, right? February winter.
Yeah, it's just a couple months afterwards.
Tell me why, for some reason, I don't consider like Into the New Year in my mind winter still. I don't know. It is.
No, that's fair. Like, okay, if you were to show somebody this graphic in a bubble, like if they didn't know anything about WoW or anything about that, you showed them the Undermined logo that says Winter 2025, they'd be like, oh, so like December? Like I get it, but like I was like, I guess you could use a little
Maybe
context.
because I'm just as a February child, I'm so winter pilled. But yeah, it's just like, do you think October's winter? Where's the snow,
No, that's
buddy?
fall.
That's fall.
Oh, like I don't know. And for some reason I just feel like everything in the new year besides maybe January is like that's spring.
Oh, that's New Year's time.
Right, yeah, like I don't know. Ignore me, everyone.
Speaking of falling, 11.2 in the summer, not the fall. Brewfest updates. Okay, so can you guys remember the last time we saw one of these graphics and it said holiday name updates? Was it Hollow's End updates? Was that what it was? Or
Yes, and Noble Garden got an update as well.
So like low expectations, right? Because like they add the Noble Garden, a couple toys.
Some toys and the quest where you killed like the bunny, the big bad bunny, and you could potentially get a mount from it, but that was it.
I feel like they need to do something. They need to like add achievements or like something. For me, as an owner of Jake, the Proto Jake, I just feel like I have no incentive to do holidays, even though I know there's goodies to be gotten.
You know, I feel like they need to return to like the core of the holiday. And by the holiday, I mean Brewfest. There needs to be more binge drinking encouraged. There needs to be more public intoxication. People need to be vomiting all over themselves and others. Like, come on, Blizzard.
It's so tough because I was going to say add a TWW like booze vendor. But what do we get? We got the nerdy earthen where it's like, we don't even drink, not even water. Tee-hee-hee.
We calculated what we thought you guys might enjoy.
Ooh, that's going to be the new quest is you're going to meet an earthen who's like, this sounds like this shit rocks. Can you introduce me to Brewfest? And so you just get him drunk and then he drinks too much and he... Oh no. That wasn't
He
a
shuts
good joke.
down as a statue in the middle of
I was about to say all those drunk driving videos where it's like,
no.
my friend turned blue in the bathtub because he was dying. But like he's already blue because he's made out of rock. So it's like, we don't know if he's okay or not.
I'm hoping the earthen show up with like a drug vendor. They're like, try this rock, it'll blow your mind.
Try these rocks. Holy shit. You guys, you don't even know. Stop drinking. This guy's got coke.
We've in the 11.2 patch, we have introduced crack cocaine to Brewfest.
He just puts a gem on the table, he smashes it with his fist and lines it up with his finger. Like, they can do it. Ian, do that. Listen to this one. If there's one thing you gotta do, it's this one.
Okay,
You know,
guys, I don't know how I feel about this one, but the boys said we gotta put cocaine in the game. So get coding.
You know, at this point, most of the time I would try to reel Slidewhistle in and be like, no, we can't ask Ian for this. If there's one thing he needs to do, it's fix the Borealis ring. But he just stealth fixed it. So like, what's my like soapbox now? I think it's introducing crack cocaine into the World of Warcraft.
Unfortunately, I think I know what the soapbox could be. So there's been a lot of speculation on the interwebs about this roadmap because the color gradient of the timeline is yellow. Like winter's yellow, spring's yellow, summer's yellow. And as it approaches autumn, halfway through it turns a Legion neon green. And then past the Hearthstone or the little like homestead update for housing, there is a very neon green winter. Now people are running with this and saying that this means Legion, classic Legion, which is a little bit crazy because that's not even like a year of MOP classic. So people are running with it.
Okay, I have one thing to say to all those fuckers that are saying that this means that we're getting Legion Classic. How fucking dare you guys? You're ignoring my personal feelings. This is an attack against me and my Draenor darlings on this here podcast. How dare you say that they would just skip Warlords of Draenor Classic and go right to Legion Classic? They would never do that. I would hope they would never do that. Ian, if you're considering it, don't.
Aaron, would you legitimately play Warlords Classic, or do you consider that
Yes, yes.
you would?
I would play Warlords Classic, but for the meme. Me being Aaron last name, the public figure, I would play it and because I'd be like, I'm a Draenor darling, let's go. If I was some guy who wasn't a Draenor Darling, I don't know. And it's not even just because it'd be warlords. It's just because at that point, why do I'm even asking for mop. Why are we doing classic? Because the modern leveling system is really the only change is just, I guess, like you said, class balances and talents were different, but the game structurally feels the same. And the further we continue this classic experiment, the more it's just like, just play Yum.
Yeah.
It is very weird though that they chose to do a gradient between like Warcraft like gold to like whatever this nasty neon green is. So like I feel like it has to mean something, and I feel like the Swiftie in me is like, oh, is this an Easter egg for something?
It definitely has to be. It has to be for something.
It could just be, so on the other side of this is, I guess it's more Midnight stuff, but I mean, even in Midnight, it could just be Burning Legion shits happening again.
Yes.
So they're saying, we can see up to 11.2.7, but then it could be like 13.1, the Legion, it's opened again, especially because the Legion did such damage up there.
I mean, because if you look at this, like, we're going to be learning what Midnight is about, which could be any fucking thing, right? We have to remember, they're going to fucking break Illidan. They're going to do the Illidan break glass thing. He's such a popular character. For some reason, maybe he's coming back. Maybe he's bringing Sargeras back with him, especially if we are fighting the Titans. If we end up fighting the Titans, Illidan is currently trapped up there with all of the Titans and Sargeras. No! So something's gonna fucking give up there, right?
I think you cracked the code here, honestly.
We're gonna be like, we're declaring war on the Titans' lives, and then instantly he's gonna be jettisoned from the sky and crash and be like, they beat my ass up so hard. Why did you do that?
Because like it's just like what's gonna happen with that? So like, and it's funny because Illidan and Sargeras are like the most mortal of enemies, but then you have to remember Illidan and Maiev were the most mortal of enemies. Illidan and Malfurion became the most mortal of enemies over a woman, Tyrande. So like, I don't know if this means they're gonna be working together. If he's gonna be like, just whatever Titans you fucking deal with this shit, I'm leaving. I think that's what it's mean, because also when they do classic, they do surveys. That's why they're doing Mop Classic, because that's why they did Kata Classic, because they gave all the classic players a survey. They filled that out and they said, yes, I would play this. Yes, I would play Mop and Kata. So that's why people are jumping to the wrong conclusion, I think, because they wouldn't even have a survey for Draenor yet.
Yeah, and like, if they're making a Mop Classic, I don't think that they would skip Draenor Classic. Come on, guys.
Let's talk about a little bit of raid in here, a little bit of WoW Yum raid. We were killing it on the Queen. We were.
I was sleeping on this team, literally, but we really were. We were doing the most. We got this girl down to 3-4%.
You know what's funny is that I will say we probably only needed one more pull.
Don't you pull that shit? And then
no,
we didn't do it because Aaron fell asleep.
Think about it. We got 3%, and then we got 4%, and then we began correcting, and we were gonna do another pull before break, but then everybody was like, "Growl," and it was like
3 and 4% happened after break.
No, exactly. But think about it. There would have been another pull. There would have been an extra pull in the series. So then maybe that last pull would have been like, we would have learned, we would have corrected our mistakes. So Lynn was
I refuse to say that it was on me when it's a raid that does 18 hours of gambling. We could have got an extra 2 pulls in if you guys weren't trying to do your silly little games.
And everyone's back from the break yet. We do a ready check, and if no one's back, then we gamble. And everyone's never always back.
Yeah, but honestly, it's on me because as Slidewhistle pointed out somewhere, I think maybe in our just like group chat or something, that like I on the show, I said that it would be 3 weeks or whatever, so I think that next week is officially when we will be killing Ansract according to my premonition.
Oh, the verse buff is just so good. You can like see it in real time. But also, I don't think the listeners understand. Aaron did legitimately fall asleep at his computer. He was sleeping, and so Lynn was like, Growl, are you okay? And then Ash typed, he was like, he said he fell asleep earlier. And I was in my head, I was like, Ash, that was obviously a joke. He's not sleeping. And then you're like, oh, sleep.
Yeah, I was straight up asleep. I died early on because I was sleepy, and I was just sitting there listening, and I was just like, doo 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 doo. I legit just fell asleep, and then by the time I woke up, I was under a sheet, and it was like the break timer was at 7 minutes. I fell asleep for probably like 5 to 6 minutes there.
It was crazy though. We haven't pulled like that in forever. Like we were pulling so fast that I wasn't even ready because I was like, we have like 6 minutes before we figure out what went wrong, make a drink, and then it go 10, 9, and I'm like, what? We're pulling again?
No, they like meant business. I was like, they dilly-dally way too much most of the time. I was like, damn. Also, I was like drunk at Raid for like the first time in probably like several years because I feel like,
brother.
like it's weird because I feel like in Shadowlands I was drunk every raid and we raided like 4 nights a week. So like, and now I'm like, now I don't get drunk as often anymore. But like, I was drinking last night.
I don't think I've been drunk in Raid since Daza. But when I used to get that drunk in Raid, I used to really get drunk. I miss those days. I miss falling down 3 times in like Golden Palisade and the first boss and being like, well, I'm gonna head out. See you, everyone.
Yeah, I was lit. It was fun. It makes it a lot more fun. I'm thinking I'm just gonna start doing it all over again. The state of the world we're in. Why the fuck not?
Except fucking the mayor of Chicago is proposing a tax on all alcohol, like a big tax hike on alcohol. I'm like, what the fuck, Brandon? Don't do that.
Brandon's a big goober.
I think someone should find him at his mistress's house, and his kid should beat him up. It's a Chicago tradition.
Get him, Brandon Jr. Wait, no, Mistresses Jr. That brings me to our bottom boot, top 2, medium moot. Immune, kick us off.
Well, I have a medium moot.
Medium.
Moot.
So I've been leveling up my druid now just through time walking dungeons. It's been very fast, so like that's a good part. That like it's been super fast. I've been like almost getting like a level per dungeon. He's like almost 80 now. So that's a good part. But then the bad part is that now it is classic time walking, and I realize I fucking hate all these things. And like as a tank, I'm like, I have to like lead it, and I'm like, not only are all of them, they feel long but also confusing because I don't know anything of how, like, what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing there. I also feel like Deadmines being there is, I'm like, it's like long too. I'm like, Jesus, I miss like short time walking dungeons.
Yeah, you really get put through the ringer with those old ones.
Yeah, because like I like what was my string of dungeons that I had slide? It was like Deadmines, which is long, and then it was, what's the one with like the tree people in the library with the night elves?
Warpwood Quarter.
Yes, that's one of them, if not the other one.
Yeah, because there's 2 in there technically, right?
Yeah, you were in Warpwood Quarter, the one without Fusili.
Yeah, so it was the one that I definitely didn't know how to do. And then my third one was Stratholme, right?
I say which one? It's really cool for of this limited dungeon pool. They decided to put 4 of them in the same 2 places.
He had the one where you just had to kill Lord Balnazar, but then you have like a million bosses on the way.
That one's always funny because it's always all or nothing. It's never like, oh, like we ran by a boss, let's kill him. It's either you get a completionist who's like, I'm trying to get all of the transmog, please. Or you get someone that's like, we better have a rogue to get us past this boss because I am only doing Balnazar. I am going to start walking and I will not stop until we reach him. So you better have the damage.
Yeah, so like because I was leveling, I was actively trying to go to some of the other bosses, but like some of them I like couldn't figure out where they were even, or I'm like, are they not here? Do I have to do something to spawn them? And then like I just typed in the chat, I'm like, sorry guys, I don't know what I'm doing here. No one ever responded.
Shout out to the postman.
Like no one responded. And the same thing in the tree people one, the corridor one you guys were talking about or whatever. Like I messaged there. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going, people. Sorry. No one responded. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna struggle here, and you guys will all just like follow me around. But Slidewhistle, what do you got this week?
I got a medium moot.
Medium moot.
And it's about to be a medium moot for all you listeners, unless you're listening early in the morning, because then you too can catch Big Sippin' and the Mountain Dew joining World of Warcraft Friday.
Hey, don't bury the lead. Leroy Jenkins, the guy, Mark Williams, will also be there.
Yeah, so there was like Mountain Dew Gaming posted on, I think, Twitter, with this like ad where like they legitimately got like the Leroy Jenkins to also participate in this ad, like with his voice. I was like, oh, this is weird as fuck. What is this? What is this crossover? Also, like, I think I'm a big Sippin' stan.
It's such a fun thing. But so it's gonna be on Emerald Dream. Show up November 15th, 2024 at 5 p.m. Eastern. So you technically could make it if you're listening early enough. I guess you're gonna go kill like Archie Monday and Illidan somewhere. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not gonna be able to do it. That's why it's a medium moot. So I'll be in a car.
Ooh, oh shit! I just realized if we're going into like raid content, this is gonna be tough. I only have one character on the Emerald Dream, which I was going to ask. Do you think they chose the Emerald Dream because it is green like a Mountain Dew syrup water?
I think they picked it because it was an RP server, and I think they're gonna be like legitimately RPing with like Mountain Dew and Big Sippin'. But I'm gonna choose to believe it's because it's green water.
But so now I'm worried because my only character there is Skeletra, who is both a child. She's only 44, and she's Horde. I really hope. Oh no! I won't be able to exchange words with the Mountain Dude and Big Sippin' because they can't speak Orc. I'm fucked. I'm dead. I'm done. I'm gonna show up there just to watch my heroes slip away.
Slip away. Also, this comes with great news for Aaron. Maybe he'll be his top two. Who knows? The 20th anniversary area is now a sanctuary. So there's no more fighting at the Tenaris festival for war mode people.
Well, my TTBBMM will make sure to let you know that I don't give a flying hoot anymore about that. A little too late, Blizzard.
Well, let's see. What's Aaron's top two, bottom boot, medium moot?
Well, I do in fact have two top toots.
Toot toots.
Toot toots.
The first one is that Cubby Bub got me
A baggie of World of Warcraft branded gummy worms.
and I thought that promotion was over, but as of this recording, November 14th, 2024, it's still going. You just need to take a picture of your receipt with the gummy worms. It sends it to a weird offshore, like, spy facility that will analyze it for 3 days. But then eventually you will get a code to get Gummy, the gummy worm pet.
Did you get it?
He's neat.
Oh, you have it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Which is crazy because forever ago they were like, I think it was video game day. They were wheeling and dealing. Like, they're like, you can get the Kroger, like, tabard, or you can get Gummy. You have to choose. And I chose the Kroger tabard. But they lied to you. They just lied. You can still get Gummy if you send your information to this Russian spy site.
Russian spy site?
I don't know. I sent it like Trolley, the company is like, thank you for buying our products. We're going to send it to our data analysts and they'll get back to you. And then I got a serious email from like Verdana Incorporated that's like, we are analyzing everything on there. If you are lying to us, there will be serious legal ramifications.
Good lord.
I was like, it's just Gummy, the gummy worm.
Gummy's serious business.
But my other top toot is the fact that within a week, it's all over. I purchased everything at the anniversary event that takes anniversary coins, and I have maxed out the Circle of Threads, the Weaver, and the Dornagal High Council. So that's it, folks. All the bars are green. Everything is done. I am now a free agent, listlessly walking place to place looking for purpose.
You got a lot of achievements to get. You got to get that achievement score up.
No, I don't. Achievement score actually means nothing.
It means nothing when you're last.
I will willingly be last.
I'll always remember fondly the time when Slidewhistle was talking shit, but then I was ahead, actually.
Went ahead no more.
I don't know. Have you checked recently?
No, I actually haven't. Maybe should I?
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I mean, but you could get prepared, like actually for what's the word? The meta achievements for the mountain.
I have been looking into delves. I was running some ones purely for completion of like I've done this storyline or I've got these treasures. So that is the next step.
You're doing ones? Why are you doing ones? 8s are just as easy as ones.
8s are not just as easy as ones.
They are. What are you talking about?
No, they are not. I have to lock in and actually do something for 8. Like they won't kill me, but I have to participate. I don't care about the loot. The loot is on the level that I've already got 19s on everything. I'm just going for the meta achievement to get all the stories done, get all the treasures and such. But anyways, that's what I will be doing with my time. But currently, I will be using my time to name our lovely patrons. They include Ahoy Vince, Azarin, Hecky, Digital Dave, asking Growlina to say, "For the Horde." Holy Hooves, the Conqueror of Ogremar. New patron!
No.
A new patron alert!
Miskit, the Orchidee Orc. Mitch, who wants to remind everyone that Rathion isn't daddy, he's a literal child. Crucifix. Chromone, the inaugural Dornagooner. Alternator, Saracen Hawk, Justin, give me back my PhD Arcane. Chris M, Kick Puncher, Dr. Foster, Grumpy Old Shaman. Jerome, Adorno.
Anita McSween.
Losing the Patient, Gershie is going to East Hills. Duff, the Horde Pooper Cooper. Calcus, Cilantro. Remy. Slidewhistle, Secret Stalker, Teehee. Adam N. Vanderlyle, and Will, a.k.a. Tyre, Trade Chat's fallen father.
Find all those patrons at patreon.com/do-not-relent. Send me an email at navarracoffin@gmail.com. Go to our Linktree at do-not-relent.com. Shit your pants for free. What about you guys? Where can they find you?
I guess they could.
Yeah, unrelated, I guess, but they could do that if they so choose. You can find me, Alex or Immunization, on Twitter at @Alex or on Blue Sky at Immunization.
If you want to shit your pants for money, you can go to onlyfans.com/Aaron Gasname.
This is not real.
Or you can find me on X, the Everything app, at the Big Cheesy. I don't even know what my call sign is on Blue Sky, so look around. I'll be there. And you can watch me play Vigigrams at twitch.tv/AaronDNR.
Hit it, Lyndon.
Another down! Do not relent!
Do Not Relent is a podcast within the 3HNC network, representing U.S. Proudmoore's premier podcasts.
That was a very good wish.